Welcome to Recipe to Success, the show where we sit down with entrepreneurs from all different backgrounds to learn more about their journey to success. My name is Humza Zahoor, CEO and founder of Social Awaken. I hope you enjoy this episode. Welcome to another episode of Recipe to Success. Today, I'm really excited. We're joined by the man of the moment, as I like to say, Abid from Sunna Musk. Abid, how's it going? You alright?
Alhamdulillah, bro. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for coming on.
Pleasure, bro.
Honestly, I'm really excited about this one just because I think a lot of people will be very interested in your story, but also you've gone viral, so it's literally very exciting.
Yeah, it's been quite a mad week, to be honest.
Yeah, I can imagine. So for those people that don't know who you are or haven't seen you on Instagram, why don't you give them a little bit of an introduction?
So obviously my name is Abid, Kazi Abidur Rahman. I'm the CEO of Sunna Musk, which is a luxury fragrance brand based in London. We started off 10 years ago, and alhamdulillah we've got 8 stores across the UK now. And yeah, we do a few things on the side. My brother's into aviation and I'm into my car, so yeah, we do a little, but the main thing is obviously Sunna Musk, and alhamdulillah it's got us to where we are today.
It's actually where we are based right now, in the head office.
Yes, we're in the head office.
So obviously, you know, that's your main kind of focus. I think some people may actually know you recently because of your personal brand, your Instagram. And I think it's interesting because quarantine has been very difficult for most people, but there's also positives, and I think you found the positive. So what would you say was the reason you kind of pushed the personal brand from your end?
I think I'm an Instagram person. I like Instagram. I like taking pictures. I like taking videos. I like taking content. So I've always been into that. But when the lockdown happened, we obviously realised that it's a good opportunity because everyone's at home. They don't have anything to do. If you push out good content, it's a good time to get your content out there and get that exposure. So I just saw that opportunity and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to push hard on my personal brand because I always wanted to get my personal milestone, which was 10k. So I thought this would be a good time to push towards that. And I get up to a lot of interesting stuff all the time, like, you know, just traveling to different places, doing business stuff, all of that, holidays. So I think I got a lot of good content to share. So yeah, I mean, lockdown and the whole situation, although it's a very kind of difficult situation for a lot of us, for me it's been quite interesting, and it's been quite fun actually, to be honest, to try and just adapt to the whole situation. And the fact that both of our accounts, Sunna Musk account blew up, my one kind of blew up as well. I'm almost hitting 10k now, so that was quite a big jump for me. So yeah, it's been an interesting time.
I think obviously it's been obviously difficult for a lot of people, you know, staying at home and stuff like that. But I think for me, one of the biggest skills that you can have in business is having the ability to adapt to different situations. And not only did you do that with the brand Sunna Musk because you launched the hand sanitizer, but you've done that with your personal brand, which has now grown, and you've done so many things. And then on top of that, it was Ramadan as well. So you really made the most of it. So how did the hand sanitizer idea come about?
So I think it was right in the beginning when kind of COVID came to surface, and we heard that obviously things are going to go worse, and you know, we might even go into a potential lockdown. And we obviously realized that hand sanitizer is becoming quickly the latest big thing. So we thought, as a business, we need to survive as well, but at the same time we want a bit of exposure as well. So me and my brother were sitting down, Shafiq, we were sitting down one day in my house, and we were just thinking, what can we come up with right now that could be kind of relevant to this situation? We can make a bit of money from it and we can get some exposure out of it. So we came up with the idea of making a hand sanitizer, but with a Sunna Musk signature fragrance. But initially it was very difficult because to make a hand sanitizer, we've never made it before. So we didn't know where to get it so quickly, especially with the demand. It's difficult to find suppliers because everyone's ordering hand sanitizers. So we were thinking, how do we make a hand sanitizer? We contacted a few companies, and obviously everyone was like, no, it's impossible. You ain't going to get any hand sanitizer now because all the big companies are buying it. So what we did was we contacted our supplier that makes our fragrances, and we said, look, can you adapt to the situation and can you make a hand sanitizer for us? And he basically said, yeah, why not? So we actually went and made that product within a week, we made it, and we put it up online, and it totally blew. Like, everyone was ordering. I think that, I don't know if you followed it, when we first launched it, we had like a backlog of orders. We had to stay in this office over 24 hours just trying to get these orders out, prepared, and get these orders out. And I think that in itself gave us, not only did we, because initially when we launched it, we sold it as a non-profit product. So we wanted to just help out the community and, you know, do our bit to try and support people for them to stay hygienic. So we said we'll just sell it for £5 as a non-profit product, and it totally blew. And after that, you know, we thought, you know what, we've done our bit. So we made it a normal product, and we basically took it to £7. And again, we continued doing well, and it was really good. Like we got a lot of exposure out of it, and the product itself is amazing. Like everyone that smells, they're like, how do you make a hand sanitizer that smells so good? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it was really good, man.
That's great. So obviously, you know, over the years you've built the brand, and that's why it's quite easy for you now to just drop a product randomly, and people will then give you their feedback, and it will do its own kind of journey. But how did it all begin? Let's go a little bit back. What's it, about 10 years now?
Yeah,
Sunna Musk.
So Sunna Musk actually started in 2009. So again, we started off very small. We started off with only a £600 investment between 5 brothers. My brother Shafiq, he was the one who actually initially kickstarted the business, because at that time he lost his job in London City Airport. He got made redundant, so he didn't have nothing to do. So we was always passionate about fragrances. And my elder brother, who used to live in Egypt, he had this huge sick collection of fragrances, and we always wanted to do something in fragrances. So that was a good opportunity for my brother to start it. So he just literally sent those fragrances over, and we literally started selling it on the street, anywhere we could, like outside the mosque, outside Jummah.
Wow.
And then we kind of went on to selling it at Whitechapel Market. We got a stall at Whitechapel Market, and I think that's where we kind of recognized the potential of the brand, because when we went to Whitechapel Market, we were paying like £20 rent a day, and we were making like loads of money, like £500-600 a day. And we were like, whoa, this is like, we did not expect it. We probably thought we were gonna make like £50 or £100 a day. When we were making such big amounts, we were like, wow, this is sick. And then it kind of went on from there. We in the winter, it got really cold in Whitechapel Market, so we thought, where can we go and be inside like a closed area? So we found Ilford Shopping Centre, and that's where we kind of first started our journey inside shopping centres. And I think being in Whitechapel Market, it gave us an insight that if you want to be somewhere, it has to be high footfall. So we kind of replicated that all along. So we didn't want to kind of make a shop and then kind of invite people over to the shop. We wanted to go where the customers were. So hence why we were in Whitechapel Market, and then we went to Ilford Shopping Centre. And when we went to Ilford Shopping Centre, the rent was like £900 a week, and we were like, what? Like this is mad. This is crazy. Like we're probably not going to be able to afford it, but let's see what happens. Even if we just break even and just cover the costs, we'll be alright. Like let's see what happens. But again, when we went there, surprisingly, alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah, we did really well. And then that's kind of where the journey started. And after that, a couple of years on, we found Westfield Stratford. Again, it was a big leap for us, because going into Westfield from a market stall or a small like kind of stall in Ilford Shopping Centre, it was a big move for us, because now you're talking about rent deposits and
talking about Europe's largest shopping centre.
Europe's largest shopping centre. The kiosk itself is going to cost £50,000 to £100,000. So bear in mind, we ain't got the money for that. Like we're literally going as it goes along. So we're thinking, all right, look, we'll ask friends and family to help us out. Maybe they can borrow us a bit of money, and we'll try and make it happen. We can't miss this opportunity, because when an opportunity like that comes, it don't come again. Being in Westfield basically transformed our brand. You know, without Westfield, we wouldn't have come this far. So that move that my brother identified and took that leap of faith, that has actually transformed the brand. It made us from a stall into an actual recognized, valued brand. So again, this is just goes to show that when you find an opportunity, sometimes you just got to make it happen. Like, you might not necessarily have the funds there, or it might look very difficult, but the point is, if you think that it's going to work, and if you have that faith that it's going to work, then you should make it happen. So that's what we did. We went into Westfield. Again, alhamdulillah, it went really well for us. And over the years, we grew. So we opened our flagship store in 2013. And then we opened a couple of more sites around London in shopping centres. And then we opened a shop in West London. And alhamdulillah, in 2019, which was last year, it was a great year for us, because we started on 4 stores. But we had a target by the end of the year, we want to have 8 stores. And we achieved that within a year. So, and bear in mind, these are obviously not franchises or anything. These are all our own sites. So alhamdulillah, last year was very, very good. And we were keeping busy. And we had a lot of exciting things that happened. And we thought by the end of 2019, all right, like last year was really good. It was sick. So 2020, we're going to kill it, absolutely smash it. So we had our plans and everything in place. But obviously, you know, God has other plans for us. So that kind of all changed now. And the whole kind of moving forward, I think it will be very different. But yeah, that's kind of like the story in brief to what happened.
Amazing. So let's kind of go back a little bit, because obviously you tried to, I'm sure, summarize the story a little bit. But let's go back to when the idea first came about. So you and your brothers, you've got this idea, you're interested in fragrances, and you think, okay, let's try this. But going from an idea to actually executing it is, I'm sure, a journey in itself.
Yeah, of course.
So how did you kind of learn all of that as brothers, like just actually launching the product?
To be honest, I think, again, it goes down to a little bit of experience. So my brother, second brother, Lutfur Rahman, he had a lot of experience with fragrance itself. So I think the main thing here, or at least one of the main things here, is your actual product. If your product isn't good, then it doesn't matter how much marketing you have, or how big of a shop you have, or whatever you have, it's not going to make a difference. Your main core product has to be good. So alhamdulillah, from the beginning, we had that right. Like, our products were solid from the beginning. Like the Golden Dust, that was our first product, and it's to this day still our top seller.
10 years
so
later.
10 years down the line, it's still so can you imagine? So that product, it's kind of made us who we are. So the products were there, and in terms of from a business point of view, basically what it was, all of us kind of brought something to the table. That's what was amazing about our journey and about our success. So my older brother, obviously he helped financially, and he was kind of like the wise guy giving us advice and everything. Second brother, he had the fragrances, so he brought in the actual collection of the fragrances. My third brother, Shafiq, who kind of kick-started the business, he had a lot of business knowledge, so he had a couple of businesses that he tried to start up, but obviously they didn't go that well. So he had a couple of failures which he was able to learn from, so that helped us with Sunna Musk. So then he took those lessons and kind of adapted it to Sunna Musk. So in that sense, he had a lot of experience with business, so that helped a lot. My fourth brother, Ashik, he's a salesman, so he's very talkative, he's very loud. So initially when we started selling at the stores and stuff, so he came up with the kind of ways to approach people, what to say, what kind of offers. So he came up with that kind of sales background, so that helped a lot. And myself, I've always, from a very young age, I've been into like media, graphics design, videography. So when I was a little kid, when I was 12, 13, I used to like do freelance graphics design. I used to do that at home. So the initial kind of graphics design, the logo, the branding, the website, everything, I made that by myself. Wow. Well, so that was, again, that was my kind of value to what I brought to the table. So I guess that like everyone kind of had their own input. And yeah, that I think that kind of played a very big part to why we were kind of doing quite well as such a small startup.
It's interesting because a lot of young people nowadays, when they think of starting a business, they feel like they always make excuses. So they say, I don't have investment, I don't have this much money, and stuff like that. But in retrospect, £600 is not a huge amount of money, and you've started a whole empire with it. So do you actually remember initially where that £600 started? Was it just the products, or?
No, so £600 is the initial money that we put in to buy the products. So we put in something like £150 each, approximately, and we basically brought a load of goods from Egypt, imported it, and we started the business. And ever since then, alhamdulillah, it's been all the expansion has been from our own revenue. Obviously, we've had family members help out here and there, but mainly it's been an organic growth. So that's what's amazing. And again, me personally, I think it's a lot to do with my parents' du'as, my mum's du'as, my father's du'as, and of course the grace of Allah. Like nothing happens without His blessings.
100%. So I think, you know, for me as well, from my perspective, I think when you go into business, sometimes when you initially start or you think of an idea, you always think, okay, you know, I'll be able to do everything myself. But the beauty of this story is that not only did you have business partners, but you had your brothers a part of the business, which obviously has its own challenges, working with family and things like that. So what would you advise anyone that is thinking of actually starting a business with family, knowing the kind of advantages and disadvantages?
I think it's about knowing if it's with, say, for example, if it's with your brothers, it's about knowing your brothers. It's about knowing how each and every one of them work. Like every one of my brothers are different, and you have to deal with them in different ways. So I think it's about being versatile in that sense, and understanding who's good at what. It's not about just kind of like, we need to do this and everyone kind of does it equally. That's not what it's about. It's about finding the strengths in each person and using that to your advantage. So I might be good at something that my brother's not good at. He might be good at something that I'm not good at. So it's about using that to your advantage and kind of just doing that. But I think, alhamdulillah, for us, it's not been an issue, because I think my brothers are very understanding and we get along really well. So, and we're very respectful towards each other. We don't, alhamdulillah, we try not to have any kind of arguments or fights or anything like that. We try and keep it cool. So in that sense, it's been a smooth sail so far. You have your ups and downs here and there, that's inevitable. But alhamdulillah, we've come far, and I think doing business, a lot of people say, you know, don't do business with family, you know, you're gonna have a fight. That's not the case. You know, if you do it with the right people and as long as they're level-headed, I don't see an issue with doing business with family at all.
Great. So you mentioned earlier that, you know, you had big plans based on 2019, you had big plans in 2020. And obviously things have kind of changed now. So as a business, how do you adapt to the economy? Obviously it's very uncertain still, but what are your thoughts now?
To be honest, it's a very, very, very interesting. I'll be honest with you, I'm very intrigued by how all of this is going to pan out, because I want to know what's going to happen. But as a business and as an entrepreneur, initially I was very scared. I'll be honest with you, I was very scared. I was thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen? Like, all the shops are closed. What we're going to do with staff? What we're going to do with wages? What we're going to do with rent? All of that kind of stuff. We were very scared. But as things progressed, and obviously thanks to the government, they've helped us out a lot in terms of, you know, furloughed staff and all that. It's lifted a very big burden from us. In terms of landlords and stuff, we still have to pay the rent, but they've kind of said that pay after or something like that. So everyone's kind of been quite understanding in that sense. But in terms of from an actual business point of view, it's very interesting. I'll tell you why. Because before this happened, we had a website, but our retail was our focus. Like we were retail heavy. Like most, probably 98% of our sales came from retail stores, and probably a minimal negligible amount came from online sales. We were looking to grow out online, but we weren't giving 100% focus onto it. But when this situation happened, you have to rely on online, because there's nothing else you can do. Do you know what I mean? All the stores are closed. So it kind of forced us in a way to focus online, and that has made us realize the potential that we're missing out on online. And maybe it's even changed my vision a little bit. Like, I would want to focus online more now. And maybe in the future, Sunna Musk stores can become, you know, experience stores that people come in and try the fragrance, and they can buy it there. But we have a huge potential online. There is kind of no one in that space, Arabian fragrance space, that's doing big online. So alhamdulillah, we have that advantage, and I think we're going to take that to the next stage. We want to revolutionize the way people buy fragrances online. We want to have the best website out there, like even in comparison with the biggest brands out there. We want to have the best website. So I think moving forward, I think Ramadan has been great for us. Like online sales, alhamdulillah, we've smashed our target, and you know, it's made us realize that we can do it. We first in our head put a figure to Ramadan. We're like, can we achieve this? We're like, maybe not, but we worked hard and we made it happen. So it goes to prove that if you work towards a target and a goal, you can make it happen. So I think, yeah, moving forward, online is going to be a big thing for us. We're definitely going to push it within the UK and internationally. We're going to go ham online.
Mm-hmm. I think this time has actually exposed a lot of businesses as well, because if you look at, for example, Primark, they don't have an online store, and now they're literally suffering because you know, they can't get business until they open their stores again. So it's definitely shaken the world a little bit. But I think with fragrance, obviously, it's one of those things you do want to smell.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult. You'll always have that trouble because people want to smell that fragrance. Without smelling, you would never know what you're buying. Yeah. With clothing and stuff, you can see it. With any accessory, you can read about it. You don't have to. But with fragrance is a thing, you have to smell it, unless obviously someone recommends it to you or something like that. So we're working around all of these things, and that's a big kind of hurdle that we have to overcome in terms of sampling, because we want to be able to provide that same service to someone that's in Scotland and to someone that's here. Do you know what I mean? So they should be able to smell the fragrances and get the samples within a matter of days and be able to make a purchase. So that's what we're working towards at the moment, and just really making a very, very good website. Like, bear in mind, we've just relaunched our website. It's been about 3 months since about 6 months since we launched the website, and we're gonna completely scrap that and remake it. We've invested a lot of money in the old website. Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful website. It does the job. It's done the job, but we just want to invest and take it to the next level now.
So basically, you just want to keep growing. And
yeah, because good is never good enough. You have to be better.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the things that I think once you kind of put yourself out there, like you as a person, you've got your personal brand now. You can feel that Abid is a very positive person. Yeah. And even during coronavirus, I think you obviously made the most of it. Yeah. But you didn't seem negative at any point. No. Yeah. So how do you stay positive being a CEO, like with all the hardships that come along?
I think generally, I'm quite a happy person in general, and I like to stay positive. I can't be around negative people. I'll be honest with you. Like all my friends that I have, alhamdulillah, they're all very positive people. And I think that plays a big part. It helps a lot, because all the people that you're around, that you talk to, if they're all on the same page as you, they're all energetic, they're all happy, then you'd be happy as well. But I think I always try and look at the positive side of things. Like, what are you going to do by looking at the negative side of things? It's not going to help you in any way. It's not going to make the coronavirus go away. By you being sad and by you staying at home and by you being, depressed, that's not going to help anything. If anything, you doing something, you making a difference, you making a change, like you coming up with something will make a difference. So, and you can only do that if you're in the right state of mind, and if you're happy, and if you're kind of positive. Yeah,
I think obviously the thing is we're still in lockdown. Yeah. Obviously, we're trying to follow the rules and stuff, but
stay away.
But I think one of the things that I was talking about on my Instagram when lockdown first started was that when this finishes, it's probably going to be a time where people actually miss it. Like they regret, like, oh wow, like I had 2-3 months to do literally all those things that I always make excuses for not doing.
We were actually talking about this, me and my brother. We're actually going to miss this period because it was such a different time. It almost felt like a movie. Like, I've never experienced something like this. I don't think any of us has, but like just seeing London completely empty, that in itself was like, wow, that's crazy. So I think it's definitely a time where it brought some of us together. Like me and my brother, I feel like we're definitely closer now because of this situation and how we've been closely working together. It's made us closer in that sense. This Ramadan, the people that we work with, like for example, the people that work in our warehouse, some of them are my friends. So we've kind of stayed together. We've stayed closer. So the people that we work together, we've chilled together. We've had iftar together. We're kind of quarantining together because we have to be with them for work anyway. So we've had some good times, man. We've had some good times. It's almost been quite relaxed at the same time because obviously you can work from home. You don't have to come to the office. Like it's been quite flexible and relaxed. So in that sense, I think it's almost like a small holiday for some people. And especially for the people that are on furlough, like some of our staff members, they're completely chilling at home and they're getting paid. So that's like, a lot of people might miss that. Like they just literally have nothing to do.
I think because you know, I'm like this, and I'm definitely sure you're like this, is that our lives are so hectic and so busy that we don't stop at all. So it's a time where almost like we've been forced to like slow our lives down a little bit, which is what I think one of the reasons why we may miss it. But let's change the kind of topic a little bit now. Obviously we've discussed Sunna Musk, and I think people will get a lot of value out of your story. But I'm sure people are interested in seeing, you know, if they do follow you or they've seen your Instagram. As we mentioned before, you're the man of the moment right now. So recently your brother was fortunate enough to do the azan in Canary Wharf.
That's right,
I'm sure there's loads of people wondering, because for those of you that haven't seen it, Abid is almost about to hit 10k Instagram followers, but the video organically hit over 500,000 views, which is literally the definition of viral.
And combined that, on Twitter I got 650k.
There you go.
On TikTok I got almost 200k. So
over
combined
a million,
almost a million.
basically.
Yeah, almost a million organic. Yeah,
literally the definition of viral. So how did that happen?
So what happened was, my brother, fourth brother, he's the Imam of Darul Ummah, Sheikh Ashik, and he works closely with a lot of the council people. So to Hamlet's Homes, to Hamlet's Council, he works closely with them, and we have some very good friends in Canary Wharf as well, because I don't know if you know, we've done our 10-year event in Canary Wharf in the level 39 as well. So Canary Wharf, they wanted to do this interfaith event to kind of bring communities together and kind of have this kind of moment of solidarity in the month of Ramadan. So they literally, this is what happened. Like, I woke up one morning and I went upstairs in my house, and my brother was like, "Oh, guess what? I got a call from the guys in Canary Wharf, and they want my other brother Shafiq to do the azan." I was like confused, like, what? Like, what do you mean, like, do the azan? Like, where? Like, is he on the top? Is he at the bottom? Like, is he going to be on a mic? Like, how's it going to happen? Because I couldn't imagine, because it's a Canary Wharf, like, well, how's that going to work out? Like, I was bare confused. I was like, okay, cool, safe. He goes, go with him. I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'll try. Nah, to be honest, initially I was like, that's a bit long. I'll try. Let me see what happens tomorrow. I'll try. And then, obviously, next day come, and then I was like to my brother, I think I'm going to come with you. I still wasn't sure at that point if I'm going to go, because I was like, I might have something to do later. But then one of our other friends, we'll call him Abdul, he's a very good friend of ours, and again, he's close friends with these guys as well. He called my brother and he said, listen, you're going to do the azan tonight. Make sure you take Abid, and make sure you get him to record it, and also get my other friend Tariq from Picture That, get him to do a drone footage of the actual Canary Wharf, because it's going to go green. That's when I was like, alright, cool, this sounds serious now. Like, before it wasn't hitting me how big of a thing it was. And even when I was making waves to Canary Wharf, I literally put up a snap on my Instagram saying, assalamu alaikum guys, I'm just on my way to Canary Wharf, my brother's going to do the azan. I just put it up. I thought, it's not that big deal. Bro, that story in itself got like 400 shares and I didn't even realize. At that point, I didn't know how big this was going to be. So when we got there, we went to the top floor, and then I thought we're going to do it from the top floor on the level 39 and looking down at the view. But then they were like, no, we're going to do it down. So how's that going to work? Downstairs. But then I didn't realize that they wanted to do it outside the big view of the, the three buildings, and that looks absolutely amazing. And then when I went down there, they had a Bose speaker set up, they had a proper camera guy, and I was like, wow, this is big. So at that point I knew, like, this is serious stuff. So what happened was, obviously I filmed it, that's what I went there for, and literally straight after iftar I put it up. Funny thing was, I'll tell you what I think, my brother, he's obviously done the azan, like, and I recorded it and I gave it to him, I put it on Twitter straight away. It started getting retweets, like next level, it started going big. And then I see my brother put it up on his Instagram as an IGTV, and I was like, okay, I'll put it on Twitter, why don't I put it on Instagram as well? He put it up before me, like literally half an hour before me. I put it up half an hour after him. I don't know why, my one just started like blowing next level. Like I checked it within 20 minutes, it had 2,500 shares. I was like, what the flip is going on? And it literally went next level viral. Like, I think everyone had it on their stories. It went viral on WhatsApp, on TikTok, on Twitter. He even went viral on his Twitter. On his Instagram, it's got like 50,000 views. So it just went next level viral. And I think everyone kind of, I think what made it a success and such a huge success is, number one, it was at Canary Wharf. That's a massive thing. Like, you know, in the biggest, in front of one of the most iconic places in the UK, you're performing azan. That's a plot twist. That's like, people didn't expect that, it hit them in the face. But more than that, I think the performance of my brother, like the way he performed it and how perfect it was, I think that had a huge kind of input to how viral this video was, because everyone that watched it, everyone that commented on it, they all said that this gave me goosebumps, or this made me cry, or this. It was the actual voice that made a big difference.
Yeah, 100%.
Alhamdulillah, he's got an amazing voice, and his azan he's been doing it for a while, but no one knew that he does the azan. So I think, and I literally that day I think I was on 5,800 or 6,000, and within like 3 days I got to like 9,000.
It's going to continue to go up.
And my brother was like, why am I not getting that many followers? He's like, why are you getting all the followers? Obviously, the video on my page went viral. That's what it was.
So what was your reaction like after you've posted
Bro,
it?
I couldn't believe it.
250,
I couldn't believe it. I was like, I didn't know that my Instagram,
you're getting
my little followers can blow this much. I was like, wow. And you see like big bloggers following it and reposting and tagging me. I was like, wow, this is like, I'm not gonna lie, I had a few videos that went viral before, like it was more related to do with cars and stuff like that, and I thought they were viral. When I experienced this, I was like, all right, this is the definition of viral.
That's crazy.
So yeah, man, I was shocked, man. The power of social media is huge, like
100%. It can change not only yourself but your business as well.
100%.
Of course, it has a knock-on effect on Sunna Musk as well.
Like, for example, like my profile got over 65,000 profile visits this week. That's exposure to myself. That's exposure to my business.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I don't know if you saw during Ramadan, Channel 4 did a feature as well.
Yeah.
So they had a series called Ramadan in Lockdown, where kind of they've asked us to send content in to see how people are spending their Ramadan in lockdown. So they asked me to send in some videos as well. So I got featured in episode 2 of Channel 4 Ramadan in Lockdown. Again, that was in itself was another come on, Channel 4 it's a national TV, so like that in itself it got huge exposure. They even showed the sanitizer that we made. So yeah, overall this Ramadan's been big, man. Like exposure wise, it's been huge.
You're literally, your face is everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
Right now. You can't avoid Abid's face.
Yeah, it's everywhere right now. And my brother's face.
literally. So it's so exciting because of, I think obviously this is just the start for you. I think you're going to continue to grow, and people are going to really kind of learn to get used to Abid and kind of grow with you.
Yeah.
But obviously one big part of your personal brand and your Instagram is also your cars.
Yeah.
And I think obviously the intrigue of it, people love seeing it. You know, you've got really nice cars, not just you but your whole circle of friends as well. And I think that's one of the things where people get kind of confused, is that, okay, if I'm successful, if I'm young, if I'm doing well for myself, do I want to enjoy materialistic things or do I not, right? And I think for you, it's more than just materialistic things. It's the fact that it's your passion. So why don't you let us know a little bit how that kind of started?
To be honest, I've always been into cars, man. Like ever since a young age, I've loved cars. Like I used to remember when I was like 10 or 12, I used to sit outside my window and we used to play this game with my sister where I used to name every single car on the road. Like there's not a single car that would be on the road that I didn't know. So like I used to have that passion from when I was young. And when I turned 17, on my birthday I did my theory test. So that's how eager I was to get on the road. And within a month I passed my driving test. So that just goes to show that I was like serious about like driving cars and like the whole car thing. So yeah, from a young age, I've always been into cars. It's my passion. I love cars, and one day I hope to have a big collection of cars, not just one car. Maybe have a whole showroom in my house if I can afford it one day, inshallah. But yeah, the cars are my passion, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit of a naughty one on the road. So you
got exposed.
Yeah, so I think that's what kind of makes it interesting, because a lot of people do like to see that and they share that stuff a lot because. You know what I mean? It's quite cool to see because I do make a lot of videos. And the
thing is, your car stands out on the road.
Yeah, anyway, exactly. And I done one video last year that went viral as well, which was I got my sister-in-law to do donuts in my car.
No
so
way.
she's a girl, she's a female, and for people to see a hijabi female doing donuts, that was like wow. But yeah, I think some of my friends, like a lot of my friends, share that same passion, so we get along quite well. We go like just after Eid. Obviously, there's not much to do.
Again, you've been killing the content.
Yeah, we thought, you know what, let's use this time. Let's go visit some nice places. Let's make some car content. We enjoy driving cars. We like creating content. It goes hand in hand. And you know, my boy Tariq, he's sick at making videos. So, cause he's my boy, it helps, innit? He's making my Instagram look lit right now. I can't lie to you. Without him, like, it wouldn't look as lit. But yeah, he's been filming a lot of content for us, so it's sick. And he's bought a car himself. So yeah, man, it's been a fun time. And inshallah, I'm probably gonna keep this car for probably another couple of months, and then let's see. Maybe we might change it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So we've talked a lot about the fun things, the good things, the success. But obviously, as you know, business is very difficult. And I don't want people to get the wrong image that, you know what, it was so easy. You kind of got Sunna Musk up and running. And you blew, and that was it. You know, you got nice cars, and that's it, right? Yeah. I'm sure, you know, every entrepreneur kind of remembers a few things. Obviously, there's hardships every single day. Yeah. But what would you say was some of the biggest hardships that you overcame in the process of being
to be honest, I'll be honest with you, bro, like, we come from a very poor background. Like, I was born in Bangladesh, my whole family was born in Bangladesh. We're from a small village in Zokigunj, and my grandfather was very poor. My father didn't have enough money to educate himself. So us being in this country, in the UK, is a blessing in itself for us, because we're open to so many opportunities. So for us to be even coming here, that was the biggest opportunity for us, because if we weren't here, we wouldn't be where we were today. So alhamdulillah, my father came to this country as an imam back in the days. So that's where it all started. But in terms of a journey, again, we don't come from a wealthy background. A lot of people have their businesses set up by their father, or it's a family business that's been running for years. No, we're literally the first ones in business. We're starting up for our further generations to come. So when we started our business, we didn't have no money. So again, that goes back to, you know, we started with £600. So even if we wanted to open a business with £5,000 or £10,000, we couldn't, because we just didn't have the money. So for us to be able to start that business, it was not easy. I'll tell you that now. Like, we had to do 12-hour shifts, 14-hour shifts, go into Whitechapel Market, set it up in the rain, in the snow, like day after day. My mother used to be our motivator. Like, some days my brother used to be like, I can't be asked that. Today's cold, it's snowing, it's raining. She'd be like, no, go. Like, and my mum used to come on Fridays at Jummah time, and she used to look after the stall, and she's like, you go pray, I'll look after the stand, and you come back. Wow. So it's been a difficult journey, I'll be honest with you, and especially from a capital point of view, from funding, bro. Like, we've had times where I had to call up my friends and I'd be like, bro, I need to borrow this money off you, because we need to do something, or we need to pay this invoice, or we need to rescue our business. So there's been kind of places we've been where we thought, whoa, like, this is scary. So every time, alhamdulillah, we've come out of it, and people have helped us along the way, and thanks to those people that have supported us, and obviously our hard work, that we were able to come out of these difficult situations. But I'll tell you, it's not an easy thing. Like, it's not just, you come in and you're a boss of yourself. And bro, especially in this COVID period, you saw that we had to go out of our way as owners of the company to try and rescue this business, to try and keep it in place, to try and keep it, save it from becoming insolvent. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? If we didn't do what we did and work these nights and days, we wouldn't be, where we wouldn't be in business, because it came to that period where if we didn't step in, and if we didn't make those moves and gone out of our way, it would have been a different story for us. So yeah, I think everyone has to know that as owners of businesses, you have to work more than your employee, because number one, you have to be an example to your employees, and number two, everyone won't do the same that you would do. Like, everyone wouldn't do things that you would do for your company. Like, if I saw something and I had to come back 3 times to do it, I'd do it, but an employee wouldn't have that have that same kind of motivation. So it's about having your heart, having your passion, having your mind, having your soul in the business. Like this business, we take pride in it. It's our baby. So I guess that's one of the reasons why kind of we done quite well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we're now in a generation where, especially young people, they think, you know, being an entrepreneur, running a business is the cool thing. And yeah, obviously it has its advantages, but you have to work harder than anyone.
100%.
And it comes with its own challenges. So for anyone that is in the mindset of, especially during quarantine, you know, they're thinking, okay, I've got this idea, I want to start a business, or I don't know where to start, or you know, whatever it may be. What would be some of the key piece of advice that you would give to new entrepreneurs?
I would say with COVID, with the whole lockdown, there is a lot of opportunities out there. I mean, there is money to be made. There is opportunities out there, not maybe in so much in the hospitality or in retail, but online especially, there is a whole load of opportunity out there. Because even moving forward from COVID, the whole world will be different. For at least a year from now, people will have that social distancing aspect somewhere. So it's not going to be business back to normal. So there is opportunities online, and I think if you can think of the right product or the right service, I think you can make some serious money. And a lot of people procrastinate and think, should I do it? Should I just do it? You got free time now. Like, you're doing nothing at home most likely, so why not use that time? Think of a product, think of a service, and start something. Like, make it your first day, literally. Like, sometimes things might not always add up. Like it happened many times with our business. Like, technically, we shouldn't be able to make it happen. But alhamdulillah, somehow, if you put your full effort into it and if you put your 100% into it, you can make it happen. It will come.
Mm-hmm.
So it's having that faith in yourself and saying, you know what, I am going to make it happen no matter what happens. And it's burning that bridge behind you, like, no going back. I'm going to make this happen. Be determined, be persistent.
Mm-hmm. And what about those people that have actually tried a business, maybe similarly to your brother, where they've tried something, it hasn't worked out, they've kind of given up now? What do you advise them?
Well, again, just from my brother's story, you can learn that he's had a news agent, he's had a car business, and they weren't very successful. It shows that even though two of them might not work out, the third one might be a big hit. So it's sometimes, obviously, it's in the hands of Allah. It's a lot of luck, but also, you know, it might not be the right product that you were selling. It might not be the right service. So it's about kind of trying it until it works, man. It's a trial and error. But obviously, there are certain things that you have to put in place, recipes of success, if you want to say. Like, you need to have a good product. You need to have a good USP. You need to have a good marketing strategy. You need to have... And this is, I'll be honest with you, this is the most important of all, and I think this is a valuable piece of information. It's the people that you have with you. It's your team. Your team will make you, like, literally, if you have dead weight with you, if you have people on your team that are pulling you back saying, oh, we can't do this, oh, we can't do that, oh, this is long, they're making excuses all the way, you will never get anywhere. But if you have people on your team that say, oh, listen, we want to implement this idea, they're like, all right, cool, let's see, how should we do it? Let's come up with ideas how we can do it, or even better, the idea. That's the kind of people you want on your team, and I think it's important to invest in people.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think your people is what takes your business to the next level. There's only so much you can do.
No, 100%. You cannot do it by yourself. And I think it's from a Jeff Bezos book. One thing I read was that he said that the person that you should hire, it should always be the opposite of you. So if I have a certain amount of skills, I shouldn't go and hire someone that has the same skill. Go and hire someone else that has other skills that you don't have. So then at least they bring value to the table. They bring value to your company.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's very important.
Same with business partners, actually. Because a lot of people, like, they'll DM me and they'll say, you know, I'm thinking of going into partnership with someone, and I may not really know them that much or whatever. But what I always say is exactly what you said. Like, if you've got a business partner, try to get someone that has the skills that maybe aren't your greatest strengths, because then you won't step on each other's toes, but also you cover all aspects.
100%.
So if you're a lone soldier in business, then it's your team that you have to kind of get them to do that. Well, Abid, I think it's been very, very inspiring. I think a lot of people...
I think one thing we missed, actually...
Go for it.
I'm bold, man. You forgot to mention that I went bold, bro. And I think that, like, for me personally, that was a huge achievement for me, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, because in the beginning of Ramadan, we started off, and then my boy Shaf, he called me out, and he was like, why don't you go bold for charity? You're doing nothing anyway.
Wait, hold on. Okay, so let's actually go into the story then. If we're gonna tell why you're bold, let's go into it. Because people might not have known because you're wearing a cap. But firstly, he got exposed.
Yeah. so basically, there was a video of me driving in the A30 and I was driving quite fast. And then my boy made a funny TikTok about it and said, why does this idiot drive like an idiot? So then he put that on TikTok because he said it in a very funny way.
You know, sorry to interrupt. You know when I first saw the video, I thought that he was a troll.
Yeah, bro.
I didn't realize he was your boy.
Messaged me saying, "Bro, look at this guy. He's mocking you." Bro, that's my boy. You know, like he drives the same way as me. So basically, he put up that video on Twitter and he went viral. He went quite viral and it was on all the meme pages and everyone was saying to me like, "Bro, you're getting exposed. You're getting exposed." I'm like, "Bro, that's my boy." You know. Anyway, that's what happened, and then after that, he made another TikTok saying, "Yeah, instead of driving around, cycling around, all this nonsense, why don't you go bold for charity?" So then obviously he put it up on Twitter and TikTok, and I couldn't say no to a challenge. You know, it's for a good cause, for my father's legacy. We got a madrasa back home, so we literally said, I think it was like 1 week into Ramadan, I was like, "All right, cool, I'm gonna do this." Yeah. So we set up our target at £5,000. I said, if we get £5,000 for charity, I'm gonna go bold. Yeah, alhamdulillah, as soon as we do it, everyone started supporting. Within a week, we achieved our target. And then I said, you know what, let's make it bigger than what it is. Let's get my brother Shafiq involved, and I think we can do 10,000 because he's got a lot of good contacts as well. So then we done that. We set our target 10k. Within a few days, we hit 10k, and after that, I don't know how, but it just blew. But guess how much? I'm sure you know we ended up with.
Over 30k.
£32,500, bro, and our initial target was £5,000. Yeah. That's like 7 or 8 times the initial target, like crazy. And that was a huge achievement for me in Ramadan. Like for me to be able to manage doing such a good thing and such a large amount, that was a huge achievement for me, man. Mm-hmm. And it was sick. And then the night before Eid, we went bold.
And you know what's cool is that because obviously this year, like where a lot of people donated the mosques, but the mosques are closed. Yeah. So obviously they kind of found, I think, inspiration in your story. Yeah. And, you know, it was more than just donating. Yeah. It was like, okay, this is actually cool. It's funny. We want to see bold.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, so I think that was the other thing, was that you actually did it on Eid as opposed to like that's the time where people want to look fresh.
Exactly.
But you thought, you know what, I'm gonna look bold.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna go bold. So. Then you literally went live, and you stuck to your promise.
Yeah, it was sick.
So why don't you show us?
Yeah, that's it, man. Look, got a little bit of hair already, but hopefully in a few weeks I can get a haircut again.
Hair was quite important to you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is, man. I ain't cut it in 8 years. Like last time I cut it was in the Umrah in 2012. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was a big thing. But alhamdulillah, I'm used to it. And the fact that the reason why I don't mind is it's $32,500, bro. Like we raised a lot of money. It's gonna go very far. Like this money is gonna do a lot of good things. So what's a little bit of hair, man? And
then beyond that, you not only raised £32,000, but then you did the auction as well.
Yeah, so that was part of that 32,000, but that in itself raised £6,500.
That was crazy. So I remember I was on the live.
Yeah, that was sick.
Shout out Savako as well.
Shout out Savako for providing us that
shout out Noah Lounge,
though, Love Brothers, Tiger Bay. Yeah, man, they're sick. Smashed it, bro.
So obviously it's very clear that, you know, you not only are a great entrepreneur, not only are you a car enthusiast, but you're also a charitable person, and you want to, you know, not
100%. This is one of our core values as a company as well. Like we give every month from top line revenue, we give a certain amount to charity. Mm-hmm. So
what is top line for people that don't know?
Top line as in like before any expenses. So it's not from profits, it's not from net income, it's from gross, like literally from whatever we get, sales, we give it straight. Mm-hmm.
That's very noble, and I think a lot of people wouldn't have known that.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, I think it's important. Mm-hmm. It's probably saved me from a lot of bad things.
I'm sure. So, Abid, I'm sure, obviously, like I said, you know, this is just a start for you in terms of your personal brand. Yeah. And obviously, it's going to be an interesting year for Sunna Musk and things like that. So, but what can people expect from you now? Now that quarantine is almost over, what's next for Abid?
I think, again, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. I'm going to try and keep that car content going regular. I'm going to also try and get on the YouTube thing, maybe give a bit of value back to people in terms of business and any other thing that I can share from my life. And obviously in terms of business, we're going to try and take over the fragrance market, inshallah, at some point.
Amazing. So for those of you that aren't following Abid already, make sure you go to follow him. support his movement. You're gonna see a new car in a couple of months, hopefully.
Inshallah. If business goes well.
So definitely.
Thank you for having me, by the way, and
No,
thank you
of
for
course.
coming to the office.
Of course. And for those of you that gained value from this, definitely support us, subscribe to the channel. We've got a lot more good content coming. Thankfully, Abid was the first one outside of quarantine.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we'll get some more exciting guests. Is there anything else that you want to leave before?
No, I think we've covered a lot.
What is your Instagram for those people that want
It's
to follow?
at Kazi Abidur for my personal page, and at Sunna Musk for the business page. And if you want to follow my brother who done the Azan, it's Kazi Abidur Rahman as well.
Amazing. Thank you all for watching and listening.